Welcome to the Global Gaming Business Podcast, the industry's first and longest running podcast, now in our 16th year. I'm Roger Gross, the publisher of GGB, and this week we feature a discussion with Jennifer Weissman, the Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, and Todd George, Executive Vice President of Operations for Penn National Gaming, on the changes going on with the company's MyChoice loyalty program. The GGB podcast is sponsored by IGT. Give your players what they came for with IGT's top-performing themes featuring the biggest jackpots. IGT's wide-area progressives draw a crowd on every floor. Visit IGT.com for more information.
Welcome to the Global Gaming Business Podcast. I'm Frank Legato. Today we're talking about players clubs, and our guests are two top executives of Penn National Gaming, Todd George, who's Chief Operating Officer, and Jennifer Weissman, Chief Marketing Officer. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'd like to start out with a little technical question. Does Penn National have a preferred casino management system for all of its properties, or is that left to the local executives?
Great question. So for us, we grew through acquisitions, and so we actually have a couple of different systems. Basically, it comes down to two, but then we kind of combine them on the backside, and it's what Jennifer and Rich Primus, our head of tech, worked a lot on. When we acquired Pinnacle a few years back, that was one of the biggest goals that we had, was to get everybody together. So working with Acres and ACSC and bringing those two together to make sure it would be seamless for the guest was something that all of us, and especially Rich and Jennifer, worked on, I think, for at least a year, maybe longer.
Yeah, I think probably for the better half of the last 5 years.
Yes.
To really stitch together the players club and the customer into one place, regardless of the systems within the local jurisdictions.
So basically, you have the SciGame system and the Acres add-ons. Is that correct?
Well, actually, from a players club perspective, we utilize a separate CRM system. We call it internally PennGen, and it really utilizes, and the backbone for it is Salesforce.
MyChoice program is what your players club is called. How has it evolved over the years, and what's been added to it as far as data collection lately with the new interactive systems?
Sure. I mean, I think that the funny thing is the name itself, MyChoice, was started, I think, by Pinnacle.
Yeah, it was Pinnacle in probably 2009, 10. I think I was with Pinnacle at the time when we were rolling it out. Maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah.
7, 8. Yeah.
And a great name, a lot of credibility among customers. And in 2015, when I joined Penn, we were utilizing a system for customers called Marquee Rewards, really sort of underneath the Hollywood moniker. And when Penn and Pinnacle came together, Penn acquired the company, we really looked at the best of both worlds and what customers liked in both programs. And we married the best of the two. And to ensure that we had sort of an agnostic brand perspective, MyChoice was an obvious choice, not to continue to utilize the same word over and over, but it was perfect for our customers. And over time, not only have the benefits and the rewards and the ways in which we service customers have evolved, the way in which we communicate to guests has evolved. And we are trying to make everything as seamless and as fun and as simple and as convenient as possible. So over time, I think you'll continue to see that the program really is powered by what's in your hand, and the technology that you walk around with every day, similar to the way that you might engage with other retail kinds of organizations.
There's a ton of data available at any given casino operation. How has your use of this data kind of evolved in the respect of a complete player profile?
Sure. I think that first and foremost, it's evolved because the industry has evolved, and there's so many more ways for customers to engage in gambling kinds of activities. So, we've got a deep understanding of what's happening with our customers when they're playing online and when they're playing in our bricks and mortar casinos. And we utilize that information to make sure that they have the most rewarding experience possible, regardless of when and how they choose to engage with us. We want to make sure that the ecosystem is available to them and is the most rewarding for them, regardless of whether or not they have the time to get in a car and drive, or they just maybe have some time in between other things that they might be doing and they're playing on their couch. So we utilize data from all kinds of touch points. And we're also utilizing it not just in typical ways that you might have thought about rewarding customers with things like free slot play and more tier points, but making sure that we understand the kinds of services that our customers are looking for, whether or not that's speed at the hotel front desk, or the ability to order their favorite drink, or the ability for them to order food regardless of where they might be in the casino. You can think about the data as being really utilized to help improve the overall experience, and the way in which we service and engage with our customers on the employee side, the way that the operations works, not just in the dollar value of the free slot play that we might be sending someone through mail or email.
I think that, to me, and Jennifer touched on it, one of the biggest kind of changes that's been an evolution, going into and coming out of the pandemic, was this real growth in the younger demographics coming into our database. And if you remember, pre-pandemic, that's what everybody was trying to solve for. Where does this customer come from? And through the pandemic, we became a viable entertainment option. So we've seen significant growth in that area. And then for us, and I think, really two states for us, Michigan and Pennsylvania, where we have both our casinos there, but we also have online casino. We also have online sports betting and in-person sports betting. So you're now blessed with like this tremendous amount of information from all their activities, and bringing all that together and seeing, what behaviors are there. When are they making the determination to play online? When are they coming into a casino? What's driving them into a casino? And again, that traditional kind of loyalty program that really did focus very much on, you earn slot play and a free buffet. It really has evolved into offerings that kind of meet the customer where they want to be met. And, instead of free slot play and a buffet, it could be free online credits. It could be better food experience. It could be a better hotel offer. Jennifer and team have lined up great partnerships. So it could be concert tickets, sporting event tickets. So it's kind of really involved to gather what their preferences are, what their likes are, and then have the incentives that they're looking for.
Now, does your system record data at all, like spend points throughout a resort? Restaurants, if they go to the restaurant, if they go to a show, so you know what their favorite activities are. Does it tie all that together?
It does.
And what can you do now that you couldn't do in the past with the latest technology? I know John Akers praises you folks. He says you're one of the most forward-looking operators in the business, and one of the first ones to actually deploy this new technology of his. How are you using that? What can you do now that you couldn't do in the past?
I think, and I really appreciate those comments, and it has been a tremendous undertaking. And so, especially in Pennsylvania and Ohio now, we've deployed this technology, but so much of where we're going and what we're doing, it's to remove friction from the consumer experience. And if you start thinking about the customer experience and the customer journey, it's looking at how do we make this better than anything that's out there now. And, I think we find a lot of inspiration from retail. They've been balancing this for a number of years, trying to figure out, where are their bricks and mortar stores going to fit in when you can go to their online component or go to Amazon and find anything. So for us, it's making it so they don't have to wait at the mailbox anymore. They can get their offers, on our app. Frankly, in the states that I mentioned, in Pennsylvania and Ohio, they don't have to go to the cage anymore. They can, make a deposit onto their phone, onto the app, and immediately walk in and engage in either a slot machine or a table game. And it'll download directly from their account onto the slot machine. And when they're done playing, download back to their account. So you remove the friction in the transaction, you take people out of line and get them into an entertainment experience as opposed to something that people have become used to. And, being in Vegas this week and seeing the staffing challenges truly are everywhere. Mm-hmm. And this has become a very good way to kind of supplement our hiring efforts and the staff that we have right now.
Non-stop thrills meet massive jackpots. IGT's wide area progressives draw a crowd on every floor with the well-known brands like Wheel of Fortune slots and Megabucks. IGT's newest game, Money Mania, is based off player favorites Cleopatra and Pharaoh's Fortune. Money Mania brings the excitement with a fast-hitting wide area progressive jackpot. Give your players what they came for with the top-performing themes featuring the biggest jackpots. Visit IGT.com for more details.
Some of the real-time capabilities now are very intriguing. How you can reward a person who might have had a losing session, so he has a positive conception of his visit, things of that nature. How are you moving that forward, and is it spreading to all your properties?
Well, our first step actually into that is really in a tool that all of our team members who have personal relationships with our customers will actually be able to drive. So our hosts today have, as you know, just across the industry, have very strong relationships with our guests. There's various tools that folks have used and different companies have used, but we've been working on something internally that will enable our hosts to have really meaningful discussions with our customers real time. When they might be having a great winning experience or maybe an experience that doesn't feel so great, or we can identify customers who are new to the business. Like Todd said, there's so many new people that have been walking through our doors because of the ability that they had to when other things were shut. And so making sure that we're creating those one-on-one relationships with customers that we didn't know before. Based upon the activity that's happening at the machine in a real-time fashion before they ever leave. Mm-hmm. So really, again, thinking about the customer in the middle and making sure that that customer is having the most fulfilled entertainment experience. And if we have an idea that they may potentially be able to leave without a great experience, we might be able to change that. Yeah. Particularly with that one-on-one kind of handshake.
To me, that's one of the things that I think we're most excited about. It's that, I touched on it earlier, but not having to wait at the mailbox. So recognize them before they leave the property, before they leave the resort is such a huge opportunity for us. And you can really kind of turn that experience around by, recognizing that they were there today, recognizing their loyalty. And I think all of that becomes a tremendous tool for all the operators that are out there.
Yeah, so much about an experience is like the last part of the experience, and recognizing those kinds of touch points along the way and really trying to make sure that those touch points that are the most meaningful are the most memorable, I think is one of the things that the technology is allowing us to do.
Are you incorporating anything like geofencing, geolocation into the system, into the host's tool set?
Sure. Some of that is kind of table stakes just because of the way that the regulatory laws are written. Mm-hmm. And some of it, to be honest, can feel a little, I think a little strange from a customer standpoint. So we're really cautious also to make sure that the experience that we're creating is relevant and is meaningful and isn't spooky. So we want to make sure that people feel welcome, right, when they're walking into the casino, and that they know what kind of offerings are available to them. But it's really not about following anyone. It's really about making sure that when they're getting close to a restaurant, we might have a seat available, that we're able to let them know if they're interested in food, but not necessarily, turning it on just to have the geofencing on. But in most of the states where we have online gaming, those kinds of activities are already in place.
Mm-hmm. And you had asked about, what other states. So for us, getting these two, and they're big states for us. Obviously, Pennsylvania was the first one because that's where we're based, and then Ohio, we have such a strong presence there. But we're now really working towards Louisiana, where we obviously have a large presence. Missouri and Kansas, kind of looking at coming down the pike here for 2022.
And can I earn points at Hollywood in Pennsylvania and use them at the M in Vegas?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the loyalty program, it's universal, and it's meant to be that way. It's meant to be frictionless, and your account travels with you across jurisdictions and state lines, and your points travel with you as well.
Mm-hmm. And to other spend points outside of the gaming floor as well?
Yes. So you can use your points and your tier status and your MyCash is all available to you on the Barstool Sportsbook and Casino or HollywoodCasino.com. Mm-hmm. You can also earn in social games if you play on the MyChoice Casino app. Mm-hmm. And then we're also working on extensions and partnerships with other organizations where customers will be able to earn tier points and MyCash in a reciprocal fashion, where other companies and other customers will be able to earn if they engage with us as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, how are you using the Barstool Sports online betting program to promote loyalty in the brick and mortar properties? Are customers earning points online and visiting your properties to redeem them?
Correct. Yeah. So, for us, and I think everybody uses the expression now, but the omni-channel focus that we have, where we want people to have an experience, whether it be online through our Barstool products online or our HollywoodCasino.com products online, but they're earning at a similar rate for their online activity as well as their property activity. And then, for us, what we look to do is kind of create those experiences and introduce people to all the different channels that they can engage with us on. And I think we've been fairly successful as states have rolled out. Again, obviously, the states that have the online casino component, you get a little more crossover play. States that have online sports betting, you'll still get great crossover play on big events, March Madness being one of them. Super Bowl was another one. We'll go into kind of a bit of a slow season here and then ramp back up again during football season in the fall. But seeing people kind of interact across channels, and then be able to, when we opened a casino recently in Morgantown, Pennsylvania, which is less than an hour outside of Philadelphia. But prior to that, we had our online offerings there. So when we opened, we actually had a decent sized database already from people that were engaging online with us, and then introducing them to that property. We've seen great results through that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good example of a powerful online gaming platform adding to a players club, and also every purchase, every wager, everything goes into the player profile, right? So all about this player, what he likes and where he's spending and exactly how valuable he is to the operator.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, what kind of real-time awards have you built into your MyChoice program? Free credits, alerts to host. Can you give me a couple of examples of the real-time functionality?
Sure. We recently just launched a new program as part of the MyChoice benefits. Mm-hmm. And once customers reach a certain tier, not only are they now sort of getting the new benefits and the status that come with that tier, but they're also earning MyCash at a faster rate.
Mhm.
And when they see that they're earning those in real time, they're getting messages sent to their app directly as soon as they've reached the next tier to earn the additional MyCash dollars that they can use for merchandise or for free slot play or food within the building. And that happens all real time while a customer is actually in play.
Mhm.
And so it's a nice way, if you think about some of the apps that you might engage with on the loyalty side, American Airlines or even Starbucks, and you're watching your points build to sort of the next level.
Mhm.
This is our way to get people really engaged with looking at and engaging with the app so that they see something happening in a real-time fashion.
Mhm.
So these real-time rewards were launched last year. They're continuing this year. And one of the benefits for having the app as we roll into our renewal season starting in May is that if you have the app, you will continue to be eligible for that real-time rewards program. So customers who do have the app downloaded and are registered will continue to earn those as they continue to play. And it's another bonus on top of what it is that they're earning while they're in the casino.
And it also applies if they're sitting at home, right?
That's right. Regardless of where you are, even if you're, eating in one of our final cut restaurants and you're earning tier status in MyCash and you keep eating and keep ordering, regardless of where you are, you will continue to earn.
What about the racetracks? Penn National Racecourse. If I'm over there and wagering on a race, and does that show up also in the MyChoice program?
At some of our properties, it does, and at some of our properties, we sort of bespoke loyalty programs. We're in the process right now of pulling all of our racing into the one MyChoice program.
Mm-hmm.
But there's rewards at every single one of our racetracks. Some of them are already tied into MyChoice, and some will be.
Mm-hmm. Now, how are you looking to improve? I mean, you're always improving your program. How is the new technology allowing you to improve, and where are you going from here with this? What are your goals?
So, the great thing about this company, and we're never resting on our laurels. We're always kind of looking to get better and improve. I think we're on version 7 point something, maybe 8 point something now. So with each release that comes out, we're adding new functionality, and we're working with some third parties that have been really great. You mentioned Acres, but it's really being able to, and Tacit is another one but being able to allow a guest to be connected, to stay involved, and that was really bad of me because that's another loyalty program name, but to stay engaged with us regardless of activity. And I think where we can make the real inroads, it's in some of those hospitality areas. It's in food and beverage, it's in hotel, and again, when your phone can become your room key, when you can avoid waiting in line to check in, all of those things start to create a better experience. When you can be by the pool at some of our properties and order a drink and order food from your phone and not have to wait for a server. Again, that speed of service starts to go in there. But I really think some of the best things that Jennifer and team have done, it's bringing these strategic relationships and partnerships in. And I look at some of the financial institutions, credit card companies that have these strategic relationships. So right now we have, as part of our loyalty program, for our highest levels, you can earn a Mercedes, but you can also now earn a Chevrolet, a GMC. So it's expanding those options. It's also looking at some of the professional sports teams and working with Live Nation on concert tickets and some of their events through Ticketmaster. So those are the things to me that I get most excited about, because I think we do some great things inside of our four walls.
Mm-hmm.
But as we start expanding outside of the four walls, and making our loyalty program really the tool that unlocks these great experiences. I think that can lead to tremendous loyalty across brands. I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, I mean, I think that the partnership side is really one of the most exciting things that we've been working on, and really utilizing MyChoice, if I'm a consumer, as that extension for how I get access to the restaurant that I want reservations to, or how I get the once in a lifetime sort of bucket list experience to go see the Super Bowl and sit on the 50-yard line. Making those offerings available because you're a part of this network. And now that we have so many ways for consumers to engage and to earn, I think that bringing it outside of the four walls and introducing them to other brands and having other brands introduced into our network is really, one of the most important next steps that we're looking to take.
Mm-hmm. Now, Todd, you mentioned room key. Are we to the point yet? I'm sure younger patrons will eventually expect this. Are we to the point yet where it's not only your room key and players club card, and it's your ATM? It's you have everything you need with your phone. Are we at that point now?
Yeah. So we are a lot of what you just mentioned. So right now it is in states where it's approved. Right now it is your card. It is your players club card. So you don't need to go to the club, and the number of people that, and I'm one of them, that forget your loyalty card each time you go to a casino, and then you end up with 8 or 10 sitting on your dresser. So that won't be an issue anymore. That it is your wallet, so you won't have to go to the ATM, you won't have to go to the cage. So that's already there. And then the room key will be coming out this year in one of the releases that's coming up, I think, in Q3.
Mm-hmm. It's very forward looking for the next generation of players coming in here, because it's something they kind of expect, isn't it?
It really is. And so the big thing that's happened, I mean, we're one of the last industries that still expects people to carry cash around, and for especially these younger generations, there's really there's Venmo, there's Apple Pay, there's everything else that they want. There's PayPal. And for us, this was just like so natural for us as we're seeing these younger demographics coming in and seeing the growth for the younger demographics. It's really being able to meet them where they reside, meet them their expectations are this should be like everything else they do. And this is not unlike their going out to dinner or shopping experience, or just commerce within each other. It's all done now through Venmo and all the other ones that are out there. So this becomes really an expectation.
And I would just add to that as much as it's important to and an expectation for the younger generation, we're seeing significant adoption with our core audience and customers that have been loyal for years. As soon as we get them through the process of registration and making that deposit, they're just so happy with the ease of the experience and the fact that they don't have to carry cash. And, I'll tell you, whenever we do research studies, it's amazing the number of customers that are actually doing those studies on their iPhone, like 90+%. And those are our core customers. They're expecting new technology as well, and they've become very accustomed to it, particularly through the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really, so internally we refer to it as the 3 C's, and it's cardless, cashless, contactless. And for our initial conversations with the Gaming Commission, part of this was trying to solve for, and back then, people thought you could, get COVID from countertops and surfaces and everything else. So this was a way to really remove the card transactions, and the contactless component of this really is what intrigued a lot of people, and it became part of a safety initiative as well.
Mm-hmm. One more question. What do you think is the biggest factor, biggest difference in capabilities today, as opposed to the early clubs that were just built on the earlier player tracking technology?
Well, one, I think that the use of the information that we are now afforded from the customer and the technology, I think is superior than what it was way back in the day. I think that the ability for the customer to get into action and stay in action as long as they want with as much ease is also significantly better. When you think about just when I started in the industry, coins dropping to the machine, $1 bills getting stuck and not being able to be used, just like the number of times you were waiting on someone to help you, not just service you, but help like keep the experience going is tremendous. Like the fact that we don't have all of those stops and starts and sort of fixes throughout the cycle. You're able to really stay in action and play, like I said, as long as you want and get into action much quicker. And then I also think the thought that not everybody is going to be interested in the same thing. So, at one point that, a lot of the slot clubs were cash back, and that was really, clearly it's important, but was sort of the thing that the entire program was built around. And now it's as much about differentiating the service experience and making all the right offerings available based upon what you may be personally interested in, and really making that program much more really a part of your like what you do in life and sort of part of your lifestyle. If you want to save your points up for a big party and host your entire office, you can do that, or you can continue to redeem what you've earned throughout the process of earning in MyCash. So I think that there's just so much more choice for the customer. There's so many more ways that we can service the guest and really delight them instead of having to really create fixes because things might be broken.
Yeah. For Jennifer and I think we were, and it was a kind of a moment for us to reflect when we even had people in our own company that truly thought that our loyalty program only involved free buffets and slot dollars. And, so from there it became this real goal for us to make it so much more than that. And to Jennifer's point, the options, we needed a big place to have them all. So we have the MyChoice Mall where people can go to and select all the different options that are there. But really the focus of putting the consumer in the center and removing friction from their overall experience. And you start thinking about what that experience is now. And for us, it was looking at, and we gave the Morgantown example, but somebody that engages with us the first time online, it's so convenient. They're there, they're on their phone, they make a bet, and they literally never have to even get changed and get out of their house. So we wanted to make it so that somebody that finds us online and engaged with us through Barstool or Hollywood Casino Online, it's what does that experience look like when they come to a property? And it's if they know that their money is going to be in their account is already created, they don't have to wait in line. It becomes a much more enjoyable experience. They're not going in and being shuffled from one line to the next. And I think that has become such a big area of focus for us because we kind of stopped. I think the entire industry has done a great job doing this. We stopped just looking at the competitive set as other casino companies and started looking at it as all the other entertainment options that are out there. And what can we do better? What can we do to really make this experience just all about being entertained as opposed to moments of entertainment followed up by waiting in line? And so there will be some time for adoption. We talk about this a lot. I mean, even when something as simple as when the first kiosks came out and, you had the NRT machines, but people would still wait in line, even though the kiosk was wide open because they were just so accustomed to waiting in line. And you would literally go over and pull people out of line with their Tito ticket, take them over to the kiosk, show them how easy it was, and then you've made a fan for life. So I think there will be some of that as well as some people that, you find the influencers that are out there, and once they have a great experience, and as Jennifer said, we're seeing some of the core customer, older demographic that loves this just as much as the new consumers. So once they start, talking about how great this is, you'll see greater adoption as we roll out.
Do you think the technology is facilitating more personalized contact between hosts, marketing people, and the players? I know that was a concern for some, was that technology is going to remove the personalization of the experience.
Yeah, in fact, we're building in the capability for hosts to be able to have that one-on-one conversation with the customer in the app. And again, it's talking about ease and simplicity instead of having to, go to one place in your phone to see information. It's all in this one place in the app. So the conversations you've had with your host or even the executive team at a casino, the offers, the rewards, the upcoming entertainment, your hotel room offers, everything in one place, rather than having to, print out all of your emails or pull your mail piece off the refrigerator, then go to your text line that you might have had a conversation with your host on. So we're really trying to make this, this place with the MyChoice app, your one-stop shop. Yep. For the entire, touch points with the entire MyChoice ecosystem.
And I think the conversations, the one face-to-face interaction and the interactions now will be much more positive and much more productive, as opposed to, all the challenges and going through all the different touch points and all of the finding the information that's out there. So it has made these conversations much more enjoyable and much more productive.
Todd and Jennifer, thank you very much for being with us today on the podcast. And congratulations on the MyChoice program. It's one of the most forward-looking in the business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed this week's podcast with thanks again to IGT. Give your players what they came for with IGT's top-performing themes featuring the biggest jackpots. IGT's wide area progressives draw a crowd on every casino floor. Visit IGT.com for more information. To learn more about the changing face of players clubs, visit GGBmagazine.com. Subscribe to GGB News to get all the news of the gaming industry delivered to your desktop every Monday morning. Sign up at ggbnews.com and use the coupon code GGB180 for a free subscription. Don't miss a single episode of the podcast. Subscribe on Amazon, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify today. So we'll see you next time on the GGB Podcast.